welcome everybody back to spring football coverage for Saluki football as we are continuing to go through spring practice. We got to try to get you introduced to the Salukis as they are going through spring ball, and we got to start with DJ Williams. DJ joins us. DJ, it's so great to catch up with you, man. How's the spring been to this point for you?
It's been great. Thanks for having me on, man. But it's just been great getting around the new guys, getting around the old guys, but just being around the team, the brotherhood that we're trying to create here, and just trying to build something special here. We know it starts now, so it's just been good to get back on the field and get around our coaches, get around our teammates.
You mentioned that brotherhood, and look, it was an area that I was asking you about, not even back in fall camp, but even to the spring previously for you guys of getting integrated, so much to learn. How would you describe the differences of going through spring ball this year after having that experience within the program compared to what it was for you like last year?
Last year was more about me trying to get in here and learn the people around me, and me put myself in a position where I could be able to understand everybody around me before I try to take that leadership role, and before I try to go step on anybody's toes, see the lay of the land, and more of those type of things. This year is more about me being a leader, me taking those steps to bring people along that have transferred in, because I've been there now. I understand what it's like to be the new guy on campus, not to try to overstep, not to try to be too pushy, try to do stuff like that. So I feel like it's just been a different standpoint for me, because I've been able to get around new guys and just tell them, like, man, we need you here. Like, we brought you here for a reason, and let's do it. Me being around the older guys and understanding that we got younger guys that need to step it up now and understand that they have bigger roles on this team than they did last year.
No doubt the leadership pieces you're alluding to, DJ, is so important. How much, though, is bringing an edge to the team and how you see yourself in? You want everyone to feel part of a group, but there also needs to be that edge factor, too, that you bring as well.
Yeah, it's just all competitive. I want to be around a team that's nothing but competitive. Like today, people ask me like what was going on. It's just one of those things where I just want to win. I want to be competitive every day. And like Coach Hill told the quarterback group yesterday, if we're not losing to the defense, then we got a problem. Like, we want the defense to be pushing us, and we want to be pushing them as well. We want to be one of the most high-power offenses in the country, and we want the defense to be the same, so we can build a great team that we're trying to build.
DJ, I know so many of the questions, one can be of just how you are feeling after a year where you had to miss basically all the season after was able to get into such a great groove after that Incarnate Word game. But you've had years where you start off your time at Murray, where you're at Texas Tech, get a knee injury, out for the year. You've had to go through this before. How was this different for you in terms of how you wanted to attack it, how you did attack it, how you dealt with it?
Last time I tore my ACL at Murray, it flipped the switch in my life. Football isn't everything. I had to get closer to God, closer to the people around me, and understand what was going on, why I was getting set back, why was it a setback, what could I do to come back better than ever. This time around, I was already closer to God, so I understood that things happen for a reason. I showed everybody my talents. A little bit of them. I didn't really play my best games those first couple games. Then when I finally hit that switch and it started clicking against Incarnate Word, everybody's like, here it comes. And then, boom, it's gone. And me just understanding that things happen. Like, at the end of the day, you can't control the uncontrollable. Like, that was the most freakiest play I've been a part of, to come away with an injury like that. So me coming around this time, it was just me being there for Jake Curry, me being there for Hunter Simmons, and understanding that I got to be the leader in the room. I had the most game experience than anybody on the team. I mean, in the quarterback room. So it was about just being a leader, being there, taking that step, and understanding that I couldn't be down this time. Like, I understood that it happened, and things are going to happen in life. So you got to keep going, keep going. And that's what I did. I just stayed around the team, stayed around the guys. That made me feel more comfortable going through the process again, going through this injury process again. But me just being there for Jake Curry and Hunter Simmons as they got to live out their dreams and play college football, it was one of those good things for me just to be around and be a leader. And that's the real role that I took, just a leadership role, And once the season got done, it was easy for me to take on that leadership role again when I got back.
I know everyone that night, you have to have the vision of, look, that was early on in the season. There was still a lot of football left, so no one could be like, oh, my goodness, what's going to happen the rest of the way. But you could feel, because the weight that you carried within the team and the respect and the love that everybody had for you. I still remember walking through the offices after that game, and it was a big win, but you could feel that there was a lot of wind out of the sails for a lot of people, and you guys did a great job to try to get that back. I bring all that because you realize the impact that you've had, DJ. How have you tried to make sure, especially through last year, that you didn't pout, that you didn't get frustrated, you didn't get into your feelings? Because it's very easy to do that from a selfish standpoint.
Because at the end of the day, like I said, you got to take the lumps in life. And I feel like I did that well. And you being that person that people look at as a leader on the team, I've had a lot of game experience. I've been in college for a minute now. It just was one of those things where I talked to my mom, I talked to God, I talked to everybody around me, and they told me, like, man, you can't be down. Like, there's no reason to be down about something that you couldn't control. And at the end of the day, I know that people look at me, and I didn't want to bring that around the team. We started losing a little bit, hit a little low, and I just wanted to be that guy to keep everybody energized, understand that you could be like you guys could be next to be hurt. Like the way the season was going, you never know what could have happened. And so I wanted those guys to understand that play every play like it's your last. Like you never know how that energy, how that excitement to be out here every day, getting better, and just being around your teammates.
For you guys supporting one another the way you did, and especially in the quarterback room, you, Hunter, Jake, Lindy, who ultimately came into the room towards the end of the year, E.T. as well. Can you just kind of go into it now as that group is today with you, E.T., Jake still here? Like, describe that family unit. I know I kind of gave you a word how you describe yourselves, but like, what is that family like within that quarterback room? And then you add in Coach Hill and obviously Coach McVicker.
It's a great room just to be around. Last year, you got to understand that it was so many different personalities in the room, people coming from different ways of life and stuff like that. I was the transfer. Hunter was the veteran. E.T. and Jake coming fresh out of high school. It was one of those things where it just came together like naturally. Like those guys weren't like pushing away like leadership type thing. Like everybody's a leader in their own way, but everybody gravitated towards certain people. And in that room, that's what you needed. I feel like me and Hunter was the big brothers of the group. That's how I really looked at it. E.T. and Jake coming in like wide-eyed and just ready to learn. And it was easy to do that because they were ready to learn. It wasn't like they was pushing us away or anything like that. And they wanted to be around us. And it's easy to lead people, to get the people together that want to be around you. And I felt like that was the biggest part about that group. Everybody wanted to be around each other. It wasn't like a push away for anything like that. So E.T. and Jake now are like my little brothers. Like I truly treat them like my little brothers. I mess with them a lot. But at the end of the day, I want them to be the best players they can be. So I teach them a lot. Anything they want to learn, I teach them that. With Coach Hill and Coach McVicker and Lindy was just playing with us. So we understood like what Lindy understood. Like he plays the game. He's been around the game a long time, and he's very smart. Like with Coach McVicker is a different type of thing with him. Is like not that he played like much football, but if you ask Ryan McVicker anything about Saluki football, anything about football, period, he can break it down to you in detail what it is and what it's like. So that's like the things that go around in there, and that's what I was looking forward to when I got here, just being around guys that played the game or knew the game in detail to help me prevail. And Coach Hill's just been one of those guys where he has confidence in us to play our game to play the game the right way, and he lets us do a little freelancing a little bit, not really just going off script, but understanding why we're doing things. And with him playing a position, it was real easy to connect with him and everybody in the room.
What did you take away from watching Jake and Lindy specifically towards the end of the year when you were really starting to get back around and going through your rehab and honestly starting to help out in practice more too? Yeah. What did you take away from those guys?
Jake's a guy that wants to win, and no matter what, he's one of those guys that's real competitive, and that's what I like the most about Jake. He's a loving person, but he got like a little meanness to him. Like when you get him going in a game, he's like one of those people where he's ready to win. Like sometimes it's just like easy to sit down and talk to him because we got that same competitive edge about winning. And so once we got deeper and deeper into the season, you could just see Jake just start to grow and grow and grow even more, learning from everybody around him and just listening to everything that he was taking in everything, and you saw him just keep continually getting better and better, day in and day out. And I feel like that was the best thing about seeing the season progress and understanding that Jake Curry is going to be a great player here. Lindy, just funny, just getting him back like the way it happened. You could see it like happening, but you really didn't want it to happen, type thing. Like, but you could start seeing us go down. Me, Hunter, you start seeing like, oh, Mike's back at practice. All right, like then he gets in a game and it's like Mike's in the game now. All right, so him having that day on senior night and really starting at South Dakota State, throwing a couple nice passes, a touchdown pass to Allen on a scramble, it was like, oh, there go Lindy. Because we seen it in practice. We seen him make plays, seeing everything, every little glimpse of Lindy. And I was just happy for Lindy to get back out there and, like, go out on his shield. Like, honestly, you can't really go out better than Lindy did. Like, he's been around ESPN all over everything. Like, really went out on his shield, and I really was happy for Lindy to do what he did. He went out on top. He's now the record holder here. And I just felt like Lindy deserved to go out like that after all he's been through in his career, getting hurt and then coming back, putting himself out there for the team when he really didn't have to, sitting back. He's just coaching, and now he's back on the field. Going out like that was pretty remarkable and really good to see.
Hey, now it just gives you a record to chase.
Hey, I told him it might get broke the first game. I told him I'm going out there the first game. I don't want that record to last too long. I told him I told him as soon as it happened, he came off the field. I'm like, yeah, my boy, that's getting broken next year.
Not wasting any time.
Not wasting any time. I'm trying to go get it.
Enjoy being the record holder for now.
I told him,
Lindy.
I told him, like, I might keep you up there, might tie with you or something just so it could be a slash, but I'm going to go get it for sure.
You know, DJ, I'm always curious when you phrase questions this way, and it's not always the best way to phrase it, but what's motivated you more as you've gotten to this spring and into this year? Is it that you saw what your peak could be in the Incarnate Word game and how things were clicking, and then, of course, the season comes to an end? Or was it the frustrating moments last year early where you weren't playing your best that is truly motivating you to want to have be even better start to this year and obviously last through a long season, if that question makes sense? Like, is it your highs that are like, man, that's what's really driving me? Or is it the frustrating lows that stuck with you that you want to fix?
What's really stuck with me the most is probably the lows, honestly. I try to be perfect a lot. Like, if you see me out there in practice, I'm mad about little things. I push myself to a certain standard. And those first two games, I felt like I showed a little bit, but it was still doubts out there about me being a starting quarterback. And I never want to leave a doubt about anything. So I feel like the first two games were like what I really harped on the most, seeing where I didn't play my best ball. Like, honestly, it's just not being comfortable. Not playing the best that I could play in those first two games, BYU and Austin P. Not hitting certain completions that I should have had, not being as detailed as I should have been, type thing. So that was probably what stuck with me the most. I watched those Austin P games and I watched that BYU game a lot over the past couple months, just going back and understanding like why it was happening. And then I turn on the UIW film and I see how good I could have played like throughout the season. It's not really it was really more frustrating watching the bad because it really hurt me that I put in all that work during the offseason and I wasn't putting it out there on the field. So I feel like that was the biggest motivation, getting back, showing people that it's never a doubt. Like I feel like I'm the best quarterback in the nation, and I want to show that week in and week out, not just 1 week out this season.
Look, there's so much of a preparation piece to this thing, DJ, and you guys spend so much time within your position meetings, of course, your film sessions, all of it. What makes you better in terms of what you focus on the most? Like whether it's, I don't know if it's so much analytical data. Yes, you watch practice film, you watch game film, but like what is the best way for you that you have found, whether it's maybe it's watching other players, not so much maybe at this level, but professionally, that really helps you and say maybe you can add this to your repertoire? Like, what are ways that really push you to get better that you focus on that helps your game development and your player development?
Like I said, going back and watching the bad. Honestly, see what you did wrong and how you can correct it. Compare it to the good, compare it to the bad. Compare the good and the bad to each other. Just breaking down everything, not just the good. Because if you just look at the good, you're going to look good. You're not going to feel like you got to work on too much. So I look at all the bad that I went through this year, all the first 2 games that I had, what I was doing bad. I went back through a career film and just looked at what I was doing bad and what could have separated me on certain throws, certain progressions, things like that, where I can just get better and better. It's always a thing about just getting better with me. I don't want to stay the same. I want to progress. I want everybody to see the development in me that I'm doing day in and day out to get to the season. So it's pretty much just about looking at the bad, putting on a film, comparing it to other people, like you said, see what they do well and how they didn't mess up on that certain rep. Watching a lot of film, it comes down to just being around people who want the best for you, like Coach Hill, Lindy, and Coach McVicker. They breaking down film. They telling me what to watch. They're breaking down my good and bad throws and understanding why I'm throwing bad throws sometimes, and that's the best thing about it.
I think last year, I don't have the numbers right here in front of me in terms of remembering, but I know success on first down, that was an area that was no doubt needed to improve. Yeah. I know Incarnate Word that night was one of the better nights in terms of improving on first down. When you have those type of discussions as a group, DJ, and look, it's not all on you. It's not all in the quarterback room. It's you guys collectively as an offense. What are ways, like right now in the spring, DJ, where you guys are going, hey, we have to focus on this now because it's going to show come the fall?
That's like everything we do throughout the winter. Like starting off with the right attire to wear to practice. Everything we do is going to lead to bigger things. So do all the small things right. So the big things, when they come, we're doing all the small things right to lead up to the big things. And honestly, we just got to continue to get better at the little things. We want to be a better team on first and third down. We want to be a better offense in general. It doesn't start with just going out there and rolling the ball out and saying we're going to be the best on first and third down. No, we got to work at it. We got to get put in those situations in practice. And I feel like Coach Hill and Coach Hill is putting us in those positions in practice now to understand why we're doing things, being more detailed. This is a veteran group that we're trying to build. And things like that, we have to be detailed and understanding what we're trying to accomplish during practice. And I feel like that's the biggest thing about being a better offense.
Look, there are probably going to be pieces that ultimately get added at some point in the summer, and what you guys look like now will not be exactly what you look like the first day of fall camp. But understanding all of that, I don't know if necessarily the question phrase of, hey, what the potential could be is a great question for me to ask here in March. But when you think of wanting to be explosive, when you think of wanting to get to the point where you guys can get in this offensive group, where do you think this group can go when there's a lot of newness too, DJ? Like how that helps at this time. There's a lot of new guys that you're working with too.
Yeah. I feel like it's just about understanding what we have. Coach Hill understands that we're not going to try to go out there and do things that we're not physically lined up to do. So I feel like that's the best thing about it. Just seeing right now in spring what we got out of these players that we got from the transfer portal, that we're having to mold up, like Cam White, that haven't played much football, but we see potential in him, see what they really are good at. And I feel like the best thing about us would be just understanding what everybody is good at, what are the strengths of this offense, and like enhancing from there, going deeper from there, not just saying, here's our playbook, this is what we're going to run it. No, let's figure out what we're good at, and we're going to try to be great at those things.
Well, DJ, I know we all got to see how you were inside the halls, practice, et cetera, after what was a tough start to the year in terms of how everything went your way, yet you never let it show. We're so excited to have you here this spring and can't wait till the fall comes, DJ. So excited for you and the team. Appreciate the time, DJ, stopping by.
No problem. Appreciate you.